so the first thing I did is to come up with an idea and a sketch of how I want this jetpack to be. Before I ended up drawing the sketch, I ended up going to Pinterest to get a whole bunch of ideas and come up with a whole bunch of stuff, put them all together, and come up with this idea sketch that I'm drawing right here. Now you could also use instead of just drawing in a piece of paper, you can also use a tablet, and you can just bust out a drawing, whatever. But I decided to use a paper because that's just what I had in mind. Okay, so there's that. So now the first thing when it comes to making this jetpack is that you will need a box. Now here's the thing, if you gotta be wearing this jetpack and you actually want to put things inside this box, you will need to basically put a compartment like I did right here, but mine, I'm not gonna like wear it so I can put stuff inside. I just made this to show you guys how it looks like. So so there's that, so you can put everything and everything like that, but everything that you do needs to be able to be open if you're gonna do it this way, so all these things that I'm gonna show you guys, make sure you still keep in mind the opening part of it. So there's that. Yeah. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this sketch that I drew, and now I'm going to get a big piece of paper, and now I'm going to start doing half of that sketch. So then after that, I can I can trace it onto another piece of paper, and I can have like two pieces. You know what I mean? So I can have one full-on piece. Now the design that I make, you can do you can make other different type of designs. The design that I made, it's just a simple design, but you can also make designs that look like these and stuff like that, just in case if you guys are wondering. Also, I will put this design that I made in the link in the description, but it's more like measurements and stuff like that. So, so when it comes to this, one of the most important thing is to look for the middle piece, okay? So my middle piece is probably 12 centimeters, so that's the middle of the box. Now, when you do this sketch, we are going to putting things to be like overlapping, which I will show you guys that in a minute. And when you overlap stuff like this, you will need to make it a little bit more wider, just because the foam is a little bit more on the thicker side, so everything can fit and stuff like that. Okay. So this is how mine ended up looking like. So it looks like this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut the top part of this, because I don't want that to be part of it, because I want another piece to be in the back of it. If it doesn't make any sense what I'm talking about, I'll show you guys how that's going to look like. So I'm going to cut this piece out. Now after that, I'm going to trace the outline that I just made. I'm going to trace it onto a piece of foam. So once I get done tracing it onto a piece of foam, then after that I'll fold the outline that I made in half, and then I ended up cutting out the diamond shape that I made in the middle, put it onto that foam that I just traced and cut out, and then after that I'll just put it onto the foam that's just traced and cut out. Then what I'll do is that I'll get my soldering iron. You can also use a wood burner. I just only have a soldering iron, so there's that. So once I got that soldering iron, I got myself a ruler. Now this right here is actually a not plastic, but it's actually a copper-like ruler. So that's the ruler that I use. And the reason why I used it is because I wanted the lines to be really perfect. So I use the solder so it can burn a little bit in it. Make sure you be careful with it because it gets really hot, so you don't want to. Make sure you to do the other piece of this, the one that I'm going to put in the bottom of this top layer. So for this, I created this design. Now here's the thing. This design that I made wasn't particularly like correct. The measurements were all off. So I had to kind of like cut it off and work my way up. So so that's what it looks like. And this part is actually going to be the bottom piece of this. It's just simple. It's just like firstly, I was going to make like an angular stylized, but then I ended up making like this long piece of rectangle piece. So then what I did is that make sure that when you do this, make sure it's basically it's one side, and then after that is the other side, if that makes any sort of sense. So there's that. And what I did is that I made sure that it fits. The fitting, make sure it fits on the bottom, make sure all of this and all of that. Make sure it sticks out a little bit just so it look really good and stuff like that. Then after that, I actually used the rotary tool, I think that's what it's called, where I basically, I smoothed out the edges so it could be a little bit curved. And then after that, I used this glue called contact cement. Now when you use this glue called contact cement, I would recommend when you're using this to wear sort of like a breathing mask, something like this, or do it outside because it does get really toxic. And to be honest, dude, me using it inside where I was using it, I almost like passed out. So even when I was using a mask, so make sure you use a mask. So there's that. Okay, so now when I got done using this contact cement, this glue contact cement, I put it on the foam. I also put it on the box itself. Now you will need to wait for like 5 to 10 minutes. Make sure it gets dry before you stick it in. That's important. A lot of people when they put glue, they tend to like just put it in. But with contact cement, it is a little bit different. If you really want this thing to stick, just wait until it gets dry for 5 to 10 minutes. Or you can use a blow dryer, maybe a heat gun, just put it in the low settings. There's that. And then once you get done, make sure you know where the middle of your box is. And then after that, go around it just like that. I don't know, it's hard to explain it, but like the video kind of sums it up a little bit. So yeah, make sure you wait. I found this piece of foam that I have laying around. It was black. So what I did with that is that I got it. I traced the top there. I cut it out. Then after that, I used the same glue as I used before, the contact cement. Put it in there, wait until it got dry, then stick it in. Now it's time to put the entire top part on top of the, basically to overlap it, the curvedness of it. So what I did is I got some contact cement, I put it on the foam part that was going to be overlapping. Then after that, I also put it on the box itself, and I also put it on the part where I was going to glue it, on that top shield part. Let's call it a shield, okay? Okay, so there's that. Once it got dried, I just stick it in there, and it ended up sticking in there, right? I ended up putting it in there, it stick, and it was amazing. It was like this big amazing thing. And then after that, after that, it's time for me to make the bottom part of it, the part where like the smoke or like the fire engine of a jetpack usually will come out. So for this, I found this this tape right here, and with this tape was actually a size that will actually fit. So then after that, I measured that. Then I cut myself a piece of paper. I cut these two long rectangular pieces of foam, and then so then after what I did is that I put some contact cement on just the edges of that, so I can glue it in. And I can make a circle. Now once I got done doing that, then I got the circle thing and I put it onto the bottom of the jetpack, and then I kind of traced a circle so I will know where exactly I'm going to put the contact cement inside the box. I also did the same thing to the other side, and then I ended up putting glue on both of those pieces, on the foam and on the box. Wait until it got dry, and then after that I put them together, and this is how it looks like. Okay, so now it's time for me to make the wing of this jetpack. A wing is something that you don't really need to add, but I feel like I want to add to it to tell the story that I want to tell with my jetpack that I'm making. So what I did is that I cut out a wing, which is like this. Basically, this right here is just a rectangle, and then I just cut like a smaller piece. I kind of measured this to be this to be larger, this to be small, and that's what I did. Then after that, I ended up tracing it into a poster board. Now here's the thing, I'm using poster board instead of foam because I mean, not poster board, foam board, because foam board tends to be like a little bit more straight, and foam just like flaker around a little bit. So there's that. And then also the foam that I have is much more thicker, and I don't want that because I'm gonna sandwich this. So I cut out, like, I traced 6 of these pieces. Now 2 of them, as you guys can see, I added this long rectangle because I'm gonna cut this thing out, and it's just a smaller rectangle. Now these 2 pieces are gonna be in the middle. These 2 are gonna be in the outside, and these 2 as well. And I'm gonna be cutting this thing out with a X-Acto knife. You can use a box cutter, so there's that. So what I have here, I have this texture right here. It's a holographic stylized texture. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm actually going to trace this one right here, which is the one that has this extra long rectangle, and I'm just going to trace this rectangle so I can get this and I can glue it inside this one. Okay, so I just got done assembling it, gluing it, basically the building process of it. I got done doing it. Maybe I'll put like another ring in here just so it could look much more cooler. You can add whatever you want, whatever. So before we paint this, I do want to put a Mosh Pod. Using this glossy one. You can also use matte if you have it. It doesn't matter which one you use. So there's that. The reason why we're going to use a Mosh Pod is because if you just paint it like this, it's going to look like foam and stuff like that, and it's not going to look that great. So once we put Mosh Pod on it and we let it dry, and then you put, I would recommend putting like 3 coats on it. Then once it gets dry, we paint it and it will look much more nicer and cleaner. Now the part that we are not going to put Mosh Pods on, this part. So there's that, and I'm going to be using a brush, so there's that. Yeah, and that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can pick it up because the line is really horrible, but this is, once you put the Mosh Pod in it, it will look like glue, but then soon that will clear up and be translucent. Also, this is how it ended up looking like. It doesn't feel that much like foam, but you will see a few spots and stuff like that on this, so there's that. Now, one of the things that I've done is that I cut a few pieces of paper, and I'm gonna get these and put them like under here, like that, and then I'll put tape on the back, just so when I go paint it, this will not get painted. So I'll put that on this side. I also cut another one. How it ended up looking, I did put paper on both of these things just so they won't get painted on, and then I put paper and then masked them out and stuff like that. I still need to sort of paint this part. I'm gonna paint that one black. So this is how it came out. I would recommend putting much more coat of Mosh Pod so it could look much more better. So there's that. So the first thing I did is that I put some primer all over it just so it could get like a really clean finish, and then I waited until that got dried. Then I put yellow, which looks like this. I did it, and then be on top. I also masked out the bottom part just so it won't get yellow on it. Then after that, after I got done that got dried, I took off the masking. Then I ended up masking all of this to protect this yellow, and also I protected this area because I wanted this to be, well, to be gray. And then after that, I use this flat black to paint this area. Once that got dried, I ended up masking this entire, like this part right here. I put masking tape and then I put a piece of paper. And after, what I did is that I grabbed this flat black and I sprayed it on this edges right here, just so it can create a gradient effect. Then once I created that gradient effect, I ended up getting this right here, which is a gold color. And that gold color, I ended up painting these circular things, and this kind of bleeded out a little bit, which made it look like this pretty cool effect. So that's pretty cool. Okay, that's how I ended up doing. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna weather this thing. So I'm gonna use this paint right here. Got this one at Walmart, and I'm gonna be using this brush to kind of like put the black in there and weather it. Then after that, I'm gonna be using some silver paint that looks like this, and I'm gonna be using some, like, you know, this cheap brush just to brush it off. And I'm gonna start brushing off a little bit of silver onto these areas like that, and then also this area, and then a lot of these areas, just, I don't know, something like that. This is how the jetpack looks like. This is the final product. These are photos and videos, stuff like that. And this is how it looks like in my hand. It looks quite large and stuff like that. Just to guys let you know, I did failed a lot of things. These ideas that I have, I failed and stuff like that. So this is gonna be the jetpack, probably 0.1. Because I have ideas that I want to make another one, but the other one's gonna be way better. But I'm not gonna do it right now because I want to do other stuff. But I will do a second part and stuff like that when it comes to this jetpack. As you guys know, I forgot to put in the straps. I don't know if you can see the back, but to be honest, when you wear this, you're not gonna see this part, so it's like you're gonna have to put it on. But whatever. But there's a lot of those things that I forgot to do. The reason why at the end I was gonna make the straps, put on the straps, so I put it on. But since I use cardboard, it's not gonna work because it's just gonna rip it off when I wear it. Also, it is kind of light, so there's that. So there's those things. But one of the things that I would recommend doing is either getting this out of like a plastic material, and that will work really well. And you can always like cut out like a hole on this side, also another hole on this side, so you can kind of loop it around and then, you know, sew it onto place. Or you can do it angle, then add this slab that is like this this rectangle slab, so you can drill the holes in, add a hole on that triangle, and then after that make another one and just add like a loop, like a tube loop or something like that, and then you can just put the strap, you can strap it on. You can just do it on both of these sides, and yeah, and that's what you can do. There's that. Okay, so I hope you guys really did enjoy this video. Sorry for not like uploading much more recent content and stuff like that. I've been trying to work on this and it took me forever, but as I was doing this, I actually learned quite a few things, so when I do another one, it'll be great. And also about props and stuff like that, I've been learning a lot of stuff, so but whatever. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. See you guys later, and bye.